All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, we are back again on the other side of the coin. We did not have any stream yesterday. To be honest, it was a good time to take a bit of a rest after so many days in a row of streaming. And there wasn't really much to report on. So I thought today, good time, come back with you guys again, connect with the fans again. And we've got a few things to talk about. Obviously, Kurt Zouma, the rumors that Spurs would like to get him as a plan B. So we'll talk about that. I mean, I don't think Zouma should be Spurs plan B. I mean, Zouma shouldn't even think about going to Spurs, but we'll talk about that. Maybe it's good for the money and whatnot. We'll talk about Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Dujon Sterling, and Armando Broja. They seem to be impressing Thomas Tuchel a lot. So I really want to talk about this, whether we're actually going to get any signings in those departments. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've been linked with Adama Traore. Perhaps we won't look into that. Dujon Sterling might be the answer over there. Ruben Loftus-Cheek looks like he may be an answer in midfield. So we need to think about whether we're actually going to get a midfield or not. We possibly still may. Armando Broja, apparently we've been fending away a lot of loan opportunities for him. So is he going to stay in the first team? It'll be interesting to see what happens there. And we'll touch a little bit about the game, obviously, that's coming up later tonight against Bournemouth, the preseason friendly. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll then obviously finish things off with some few other announcements. But before we get into all of this, Ishan, my boy, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you, Miss. Looking forward to the game tonight. It's going to be very exciting to see that the names that you just mentioned. I hope so that they're gonna feature in today's game. So it'll be very exciting to see what actually Thomas Tuchel plays, and I hope most of the boys get some game time.
Yeah, man. I can't wait for some games, man, to talk about some football matches. As opposed to just Haaland news, Haaland update. I can already see some of the people in the live chat saying, I need Haaland, and announce Haaland from Declared as well. Massive shout out to the live chat. Thank you so much. Like always, joining. Please smash the like button as soon as you're here. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe as well. We are now on track. We are going gun-ho towards 7,000 subscribers. So can't wait for that. Check out Ishan's socials in the description. So firstly, quick shout out to some of the live chat. We've got Bonolo, who wants to be a mod. Bonolo, look, the more you interact, the more I see you on live chat, I will end up making you a mod. I just need to see a little bit more of you so that I can actually make you a mod. Luca is here. Joey, thank you so much, my man Joey, for joining. You were there just a few hours ago when I dropped a video. Do check that out, guys. I dropped a video earlier today, and lately I've been dropping the tactical videos. So do check that out. It's in the as soon as you go to my page, you will see those videos lined up. I will put the link here as well later down the track for you guys to check that out. Roby, my man, thank you so much for joining. Roby, you've been asking whether I'm going to do a watch along for the Bournemouth game, mate. Honestly, I don't think I will. But there will definitely be a review for that match. Straight as soon as the match finishes, there will be a review. So do, guys, check in on that. Come in and make sure you take part in that particular review. I will have most likely, I will have a fans call-in show tomorrow. So we'll do the review straight after the match, and then UK time tomorrow, we'll have like an aftermath where you guys can join in and give us your perspective on it. Shout out to Shadrach, Rakesh, Danko, Tactical Behemoth, Muhammad Alpha, Kartik, Bola, Declare. It's just so many people. Thank you so much. Honestly, guys, it's been amazing. Let's get this show started. We've got Flyers here as well. Flyers, thank you for joining. Flyers saying Haaland is killing me. I need some big news on him. Yeah, we're literally just waiting on some news. It's going to be We just need to be patient. There's not much about Haaland going on at the moment, so I can't make up news. Ralph Lauren is saying Livramento is better than Dujon Sterling. We'll talk about this. We'll definitely talk about this, Ralph. All right, let's get into it. Ishan, first of all, Kurt Zouma to Spurs. Well, not really Kurt Zouma to Spurs. Spurs seems to be interested in Kurt Zouma, but as a plan B. I mean, first of all, let's talk about the plan B before I talk about Zouma, whether he's got any interest, or from my perspective, whether he has any interest or not, and then whether this is a good deal or not. First of all, I mean, how could Spurs think as Zouma as plan B? Like, unless they've got some sort of other cheaper options available or better options available. For me, Kurt Zouma, from their perspective, should be plan A. Like, that's a top-notch defender if you're going to play a back four, aerially dominant, absolute monster in terms of physique. And apparently they're touting him for about 25 million euros, 25 to 30 million euros. For me, that sounds ridiculous. Someone like Zouma, I know he hasn't played much for Chelsea right at the end under Thomas Tuchel, but for me, he's one of the top defenders out there, especially if you're going to play with a back four with two centre-backs. I mean, yeah, different story if you play a back three, but back four with two centre-backs, he's still one of the better defenders out there. I mean, what do you have to say about this particular news from Spurs saying that is plan B for them?
What can I say? It's stupid of them to say Zouma is plan B. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Zouma is better is a better defender than any of their defenders, and I can vouch on that. I mean, does not make any sense. You know, just like you said, he's a top class defender. You know, his aerial ability is some crazy. You know, he can.
I mean, he would be their number one defender if he joins them. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 100%,
I don't think any of the defenders
100%.
matches him.
Yeah, it's just like the the snootiness that they are saying that he's going to be a plan B just because he's a Chelsea player. Then that's why maybe you're saying he's a plan B, but he's definitely on your number one list if he is, because you know that he's been scoring more goals than many of your midfielders combined the whole season. So man, come on. Don't undermine this guy, man. Zouma is a good player, and just like you said, he's a very good defender when it comes to a back four defense, and he will be good wherever he goes. He needs some continuous gaming time. We saw that under Frank Lampard when Lampard was our manager. He had, although he had Thiago Silva beside him, so both of these guys synchronized really well, and they put up a very, very good performance for couple of months where we were 16 or 17 games undefeated under Frank Lampard at one point of time. So and Zouma was one of the best defenders at that point of time. So yeah, he's some quality defender, and now he's got some good experience in his kitty as well when it comes to the Premier League. So he has seen the ups and downs. I mean, he's good. Listen, if you'd ask me, I wouldn't want Zouma to go out of Chelsea in the first place because I would have liked Zouma to stay in Chelsea, and hop in some games, and the games where there are much more low blocks, where there is difficult to pierce the defenders, we can have some set piece on, there will be corners, and that's when Zouma becomes a very, very lethal player with his heading ability and crazy aerial ability. So I wouldn't have liked Zouma to go out of Chelsea either. But then yes, if he needs to go and Thomas Tuchel does not envy him or he's not in his plans, then I've got nothing to do, right? So yeah. But then talking about Spurs, I mean, if he goes there, he'll definitely be their first choice. Doesn't matter if they say plan B, C, D, X, Y, Z. Doesn't matter whatever shit they say. He's definitely the best defender for them if he goes to Tottenham for sure.
Yeah, man, I tweeted the same thing. I'm like, it may be their plan B, but for Zouma, Spurs is plan Z. Just quickly, before I think about from a Zouma's point of view, Luca Leopoldo is saying they're going to get Christian Romero for their plan A anyway. By the way, Christian Romero, is that the player from Argentina? Live chat, let me know. Ishan, is that the Argentinian centre back?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Live chat, let me know if that's the Argentinian centre back, because if that's the case, he's actually a very good centre back. I saw a bit of Copa America earlier this month. Yeah, earlier this month, and he was probably one of the standout defenders for Argentina. And I think Ralph Lauren was also saying in the live chat that he's ended up being Serie A's #1 CB of the year. So that would definitely be a good signing, but I wouldn't disregard that for Zouma's ability. Zouma's proven in the Premier League, so you know what you're going to get. With Christian Romero, yes, you know that he's a very good defender in Serie A. He's had a very good Copa America as well, I believe. But with Zouma, it's given. You know he's going to do the job for you. Now, talking about a couple of things as well. Once again, going back to my initial sort of talk that I wanted to do about Zouma, whether he would fancy a move to Spurs. I mean, I can't see how Zouma would fancy a move to Spurs, even though he's a periphery player for Chelsea at the moment. He's not one of the top defenders when you think about the back three. Back three, you start thinking about Rudiger, Thiago Silva, and most likely Azpilicueta. But then there's Christensen as well. There's Reece James. And then comes Zouma after probably all of them. But even then, I would say, why would Zouma want to leave European champions? Even if you can stick around and get some minutes, be part of all the different cups that we're going to play this season, Club World Cup, Super Cup. We're going to give it another mad chance in the Champions League. We're going to go for the Premier League. If I'm Zouma, I mean, I would still want to stick around unless he has ambitions to go and play first team football. But Spurs, I mean, what's Spurs got, Ishan? What do they have going for them? They're in the Conference League or something like that. They're going to be. That's not even the Europa League. That's like a step below Europa.
If you win that, actually you're going to qualify for the Europa League. So that's the level.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And all the different, European clubs that you're going to play for, literally no one's even heard of in the Conference League. They've got a new manager, Nuno, who is all right. I respect Nuno, and I like the way what he's done under with Wolves. But
Wolves,
I feel like it's a massive backward step. I mean, Spurs are not really going to be, I don't know, contending to be in the top 4 teams this season. I highly doubt. If they lose Harry Kane, which they probably will to Spurs, then they're going to be in a massive mud without Harry Kane. I mean, Ishan, what do you think, man? Like that, for me, if it does happen, that is a massive backward move for me in my perspective. I can't see how Zouma would even entertain that.
Yeah, you've got a point. But the thing is here, Fabio Paratici, the new footballing director, he's come in and he's identified the flaws in the team. He knows that the team needs renovation and some high-end renovation, and it needs to be from the immediate effect. And that's why we've seen the likes of Eric Lamela and a swap deal, right? With Tottenham and Sevilla having the swap deal, and they've let Eric Lamela go. So they've known now. I mean, Fabio Paratici knows the fact that there are a certain amount of players that we need to get rid of. I won't be surprised if in the coming few months, or maybe in the next transfer season, Eric Dyer leaves, Musa Sissoko leaves. I won't be surprised, because those are the players who haven't been doing much for Spurs, and even the Spurs fans knows that, because they have been the liabilities, to be very honest, for the team. And that's exactly why Spurs are very desperate now to sign a centre back, because centre back has been one of the major issues for the last season. So yes, that's where the Zouma links comes in. The thing here with Spurs is now, since Fabio Paratici came in and Nuno came in as a new manager, they're quite fond to keep Harry Kane, and they know the fact that he's got a long-term contract in Tottenham, although it's very difficult to keep, because he's been trying to approach the club to make an exit from the club. It's been from quite a couple of seasons, if I'm not wrong, and now it's kind of peak, because the likes of Harry Kane wouldn't want to play in a Conference League, and even if he wins it, you qualify for the Europa League. So doesn't make sense for a top class striker like Harry Kane. So yeah, the thing about Tottenham here is they are trying to keep Harry Kane here as much as they can. That's what they're pushing towards, and they are in a state of renovation. They've successfully made Son sign a new contract, which is, I feel sorry for Son. I feel absolute sorry for Son. He deserves
four
so
years
much.
or something like that. They
Yeah,
got
4 years
him for
again,
a further 4
till
years.
2026.
Crazy.
He's still 2026, and I feel so
Yeah.
sorry for that guy. He's such a good footballer. He could have won so many things if he'd gone to a better club. I mean,
Honestly, I
but
don't know what he's thinking there, unless he's getting a big pay. It has to be with the money. I can't see how he
but still,
expects him
Miss,
to. Yeah,
Miss, even if he gets money, he's a calibrated player, high calibrated player. Human Son is
yeah.
very good. He can go to the likes of, let's say, a Man City, Liverpool, or
He can
even,
go
let's
for a
say,
top club.
different
Yeah, he
clubs.
can go for a top
Top
club.
clubs, he can definitely
Yeah,
go for a PSG, or rather some La Liga top clubs, let's say an
yeah,
Atletico Madrid or so. He can
yeah.
definitely go there and do laurels to the team. He will ruin those
And he
teams
can
there.
actually win stuff. He can actually win
Yeah,
stuff.
he can actually win some silverware, and that's what I see in Son. He's a very good player, very high quality player. So he can definitely win things. But I don't. Should we question his ambition? And same goes with Harry Kane. Should we question their
Probably, bro.
ambition in winning titles?
Probably.
Yes, you can say that you love your club and this and that, but come on, you're playing in the Conference League. You're slapping in 20 plus goals in a season, for God's sake, and you're playing in the Conference League. Have
Yeah.
some sense. You need to progress in your life. You need to
That's
make
a very
yourself
good
better.
comment from Roby. Son could have gone to Real Madrid and he chose Spurs.
Yeah,
Really, he probably could have. I don't know if Real could
100%,
afford him now,
100%.
but that's the level that Son should go.
Yeah, 100%. Son, Kane, these two guys, they're high class players, and they can definitely go to the likes of at least an Atletico Madrid, or a PSG level of
Yeah,
a club, where
bro.
they can. I don't know, man, what they are doing. But then yes, coming to Zouma, personally, I wouldn't recommend Zuma to go to Spurs. Even he knows that he shouldn't be going to that club.
Absolutely.
Even if he would have selected Arsenal, that would have made a little bit of sense. Although they've been been at the 8th position for the past 2 years,
Bro, you know
and
what makes
they're
more sense? If he thinks about going to Everton. Because he played
yeah,
at Everton.
actually,
Like, that makes more sense to me.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
100% Everton, or maybe a Leicester City, to be honest. And that would
Leicester,
have
yeah.
been, yeah,
Whether Leicester wants him,
100%.
I don't know. But yeah,
Even
Everton,
even
Leicester makes sense.
even the likes of Aston Villa and West Ham are looking very promising. So
Yeah, yeah.
even if he goes there, that would have made absolute sense. But the clubs who do not win anything, or they're not showing any sign of progression, if you're going there, I'm not sure why are you going there. You won't change anything as a centre back, right? For a club to win games, you need high profile, prolific strikers, and the chemistry needs to be high, up there. There needs to be a good manager. I'm not sure whether Tottenham has that at this point of time. And if Zuma goes there,
I
yes,
like that shout
defensively
from
there will be a
I
boost.
like that shout from Subrajoti Roy. Atletico is best for Zuma. I think you said Atletico as well, Ishan. I
Yeah,
think Zuma
exactly.
would suit Atletico Madrid.
100%, 100%, and that's what Simeone likes, right? Back four, they like to park the bus, and then
Yeah,
when they go
strong
up,
defenders.
strong defenders, good aerial ability defenders, the likes of Jimenez. We've seen Godin do laurels there in Atletico Madrid. So yeah, Zuma definitely have many chances. I'm not sure if he'd envy there, but if he goes to Spurs, best of luck.
Yeah, absolutely. Fly as he, I personally don't feel Zuma would want to join Spurs. You can see it in his face expressions, his passion is for Chelsea. Yeah, honestly, I would be very surprised if he chose Spurs. That's probably not a destination for him. Look, at the end of the day, if Spurs pay up the money, then fine, so be it. Because his Zuma is the one that's been touted around that we're going to be selling. Many of the journalists have been talking about it. Thomas Tuchel doesn't really fancy him as well, doesn't really like him in that back three. He's not the ball-playing, calibrated kind of defender. We had Ryan here the other day talking about the tactical side of things, and Zuma's not the one playing from the back. He's that comfortable. Do you know what I mean? And we need players that are comfortable in the back, who are easy with the ball, and they can spray the passes, whether it's short passes or long diagonal passes or through the middle, whatever it is. We see that with Thiago Silva. We see that with Andres Christensen. And we see that with Rudiger as well. Zouma is one that just doesn't fit that, that personality. So I can understand the reason why we're letting him go. If Spurs can cough up, seriously, if they can cough up about 40 million pounds, then I think it's a deal. His minimum 40 million. I think Alex Abhishek Matthews said that if, God damn it, Ben White is worth 50 million pounds for Arsenal, and I know English tax is included in that. I get that. I understand that. But Zouma then cannot be 25 million euros or 25 to 30 million euros. That's a disrespect to his name. Massive disrespect. The kind of defending Zouma did in Frank Lampard's first season post-lockdown, oh my God. Zouma was amazing. You guys all remember that last-minute tackle against Crystal Palace. I think it was Benteke or maybe it was Zaha. I can't really remember who that was. That last-minute tackle to save the match for us. I mean, that's the kind of ability Zouma has. He's got great recovery pace, supreme aerially, physically strong. He would fit a particular team that wants a solid back four and wants solid defenders, not really relying on their defenders to play out from the back. So look, man.
Also, Miss, one more thing, Miss. I would like to add to your point is that if Chelsea is willing to sell Zouma, we know the fact that he's kind of a fourth choice or a fifth choice, just like you said, right? And he might be opting out for some more gaming time, and that's understandable if that's the case. If it's not the case, if he wants to stay at Chelsea, right? And you've got another option. We know the fact that Mark Guehi is gone to Crystal Palace. We have another option called as Malang Sarr. So maybe we need to get rid of one of them. So basically, is Chelsea signifying that we need to get rid of Zouma so that Malang Sarr becomes our fourth or a fifth option? I mean, does that make any sense? Because if I was in charge, I would have definitely kept Zouma and said bye-bye to Malang Sarr, and then I would rather have Zouma as my fourth or a fifth choice centre-back rather than having a Malang Sarr, because I know the abilities that Zouma possesses. Malang Sarr cannot do that at this point of time. Right?
Yeah, man. I mean, look, for me, Malang Sarr, I know a lot of the fan base wants to talk about him and this and that. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I feel he's going to go for another loan. He was never, ever in Thomas Tuchel's plan. And I know you're going to say, was Dujon Sterling in Thomas Tuchel's plan and so on and so forth. And we're going to talk about that. But look, I'm not really hearing much about Malang Sarr. I'm not hearing that, there are certain players that Thomas Tuchel has. It's been reported by certain, Chelsea correspondents and whatnot that there are certain players that have impressed Thomas Tuchel. Malang Sarr's name just hasn't come up. So I think he's going to go away for another loan, to be honest. And you're right. Why let go of Zouma when you're going to use Malang Sarr as a backup CB? Like, just doesn't make. You might as well use Zouma. Zouma's far more superior. There's no doubt about that. This comment here from Dabu: Roma would be a good shout for Zouma. Mourinho likes him. I think there were some links. The issue with Roma is just like with any other Italian club, they don't have the money. They simply don't have the money to. They're absolutely broke. They want Zouma for something utterly ridiculous.
They would actually go for a loan. They would actually take him for a loan, and then
perhaps that may be the go, loan and maybe an obligation to buy. But I rather us just cash in and get the money. Do you know what I mean? And Zouma, just going back to that Ben White, 50 million. That's insane. Zouma should be at least 40 million. And I know the English tax kicks in and whatnot, but I mean,
Miss, what do you think if Chelsea sells Zouma outside the Premier League, right? How much should the price be?
40 million, bro. 40 million minimum. But the issue is no one's got the money. That's the bad part about it. Besides PSG, there's no one else that has the money around the world at the moment. So, that's the sad part. And if I go back to that point again with the Ben White, imagine Zouma at Brighton. Who do you think starts, Ben White or Zouma? I'm pretty sure Zouma starts in front of Ben White. Yeah. I think 100%. Lewis Dunk and Zouma would start. Like those two would start. But look, I mean, some could say that they play from the back, and maybe that's probably a reason why maybe Zouma might not start. But look, it is what it is. We'll see how this story pans out. We've got over 100 people live. Guys, take the moment, smash the like button, get the likes up to over 100. We're going to start talking about other players now, which is going to get very, very interesting. So take a moment to get those likes up to over 100 straight away, guys. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe. We're now on the race to 7,000 subscribers. And check out Ishan's socials in the description. And I've just pinned a message as well. Some of the tactical videos that are up on the channel live at the moment, check them out as well. I've just pinned that message. All right. Ishan, let's talk about some of these juicy things that's happening. I know we're going to talk about Marcus Bettinelli, our apparently third choice goalkeeper, backup goalkeeper. We've finally signed someone, Ishan. We've finally signed someone. We're going to keep that for the last, which is a very good news. We've kicked things off. We're off the mark in this particular window. So it's happy days. We'll see what happens, but we'll talk about that right at the end. Ishan, I want to talk about three players, which is very interesting. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Armando Broja, and Dujon Sterling. Three players that are apparently impressing Thomas Tuchel a lot. Adam Newson from Football London, who covers inside a lot of stuff about Chelsea. Not really the transfer news, but he gets a lot of inside sort of details as to how these players are doing in preseason, what Thomas Tuchel thinks and what not. And he's been saying that these three players have been impressing Thomas Tuchel a lot and could possibly stay. They could possibly stay. Armando Broja has apparently had quite a few clubs that have been chasing after him for loan moves, but Chelsea have been putting them away. And we've seen, and we've reported here as well, that he's signed a new 5-year contract. So, I mean, let's start with Armando Broja, and then we'll talk about Dujon Sterling and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. When I read this particular piece, Ishan, that these three players are impressing and they're possibly going to stay, I was just getting a bit, I wasn't getting worried. Like, I'm happy that these players are staying, but I was getting worried that, are we actually going to sign anyone, or these players are going to be the new players into the team? I was getting worried. Armando Broja possibly may be part of the squad. I still want to see a striker. I don't want Armando Broja to be the second, the backup striker. We still haven't let go of Tammy Abraham, so I'm not really sure what's happening there. But I do still want to see Erling Haaland come in and maybe Broja be like the third choice striker. But I mean, what's your thoughts? Is Broja going to be a second choice striker, or is he going to be a third choice striker? Looks like Thomas Tuchel really fancies this player to stay in the squad.
First and foremost, Tammy Abraham has to go. Then only comes the factor called Armando Broja. If Tammy Abraham stays, I think so. Again, another question arises: are we signing Erling Haaland or any star-studded striker? If that's the case, then I mean, it doesn't actually matter if we sell Tammy Abraham or not. He can just warm the bench and let Haaland do his thing, right? But the thing here is, I mean, regarding Armando Broja, the first instinct that comes to your mind is that Chelsea has extended his contract. Now it's a long-term contract, right? 5 years deal till 2026, if I'm not wrong. So if that's the case, then Chelsea, Armando Broja is definitely in the plans of Thomas Tuchel, and then is definitely in a long-term plan for Chelsea Football Club. Now that's one thing. Second thing, a question arises that will he go out for a loan? Now the thing here is we've already gotten rid of Oliver Giroud, right? We if Tammy Abraham leaves out, right, we actually do not have any number 9, right? I mean, if we sign Erling Haaland, that's another thing. But what if we don't? We actually would need Armando Broja to, play some games here and there, come in the low.
And then if there's injuries as well, Ishan, if there's injuries, to one of the key strikers. Even if we do sign the likes of Erling Haaland, we would need a backup striker, right? We just cannot go for Erling Haaland, against what? Morecambe FC, I mean, Erling Haaland would slap them 12 alone, that does not make sense. So Armando Broja would definitely start there. The clear indication I get here is, I think so Tammy Abraham has to leave now. Now, I don't think so. He should be staying much more in this club, knowing the fact that he's not getting much game time in the previous season as well, and in the coming fourth season. I don't think so he'll be getting much gaming time, irrespective of the fact that we've not signed any striker. But there are heavy links and he needs to go first thing first. If he doesn't, Tammy Abraham doesn't,
And if we sign another striker, right, there comes another question that I think so Armando Broja can go out for a 1 year loan, right? Because there already would be an Erling Haaland if we do sign him, and if Tammy does not leave eventually, unfortunately, if it does not leave, so basically we do have a second striker, and I don't think so. In some gaming time, Thomas Tuchel, I think so should be giving Tammy Abraham also his shot, right, in the initial stages of the next season, because that's Thomas Tuchel. He gives chances to everybody and lets them prove. So that's the thing. If Tammy Abraham leaves and then comes Armando Broja, he has to stay, irrespective of the fact that we sign a new striker or not. He has to say he'll be getting some gaming time, and he's very, very young. He's just 19 or 20 years old, if I'm not wrong. And this is the age where he needs to learn. Yes, he needs to get some more gaming time, and that's why people are recommending him to go out and have a loan season and then come back. That is fine. But then if he stays and he gets some gaming time, he develops under Thomas Tuchel and develops in the atmosphere of these other players with the likes of Kai Havertz, and if Haaland comes in, it'll be a great learning experience for him as well. So yes, I think so. When we talk about Armando Broja here, I think so we have to actually talk about Tammy Abraham's situation as well, because these two, we cannot have three strikers and one big striker who would be, if Erling Haaland, he'd be starting the majority number of games, and then we have two strikers who would be just warming the bench. That's not happening. So one definitely has to leave. So if Tammy does not leave by any means, unfortunately, then maybe Armando Broja goes out to a loan. If Tammy leaves, Armando Broja has to stay irrespectively.
So well said. Now, I completely understand that. I think as it stands, Thomas Tuchel really fancies Armando Broja. For some reason, you know how some managers are when they come in, they see a particular youngster from the academy or whatnot, and they think, okay, this is my player. And I feel like Thomas Tuchel has looked at Armando Broja and he fancies him and he wants to keep him, which means he's never favored Tammy, so Tammy has to go. Regardless, Tammy has to go. If Armando Broja is staying, then I feel like Tammy needs to find somewhere else, because we're linked with Haaland as well. And Haaland is the number one target. I think our football club will do their level best to get Haaland. People are saying any Haaland news. Literally, there's no official Haaland news or any reporter saying anything. But all I can say is Chelsea Football Club's number one target for striker is Erling Haaland. There is no doubt about that. I don't even think we're going to get any other signing, to be honest, besides Erling Haaland. I'm not really sure whether we're going to get a midfielder and whatnot. But obviously we've got that backup goalkeeper now. For me, I think if Chelsea can get Haaland, that would be a big, big window for us. That's a huge player. And that would mean Tammy Abraham would have to leave. And then maybe Armando Broja gets an opportunity as a third striker. I've declared here saying Havertz would be the backup with Broja as third. Sounds good, though. Yeah, absolutely right. So it'd be Erling Haaland, Havertz being as the backup sort of striker if need be, and then you still have Broja. So you're pretty much covered with injuries as well. Don't forget, there's Timo Werner who can at times chip in and play up front as well. So we could possibly see Armando Broja being part of the squad, which is exciting. I don't mind seeing him part of the squad, to be honest. I wouldn't mind him going on a loan either. That allows him to grow. But if Thomas Tuchel believes that this player will learn a lot more under him and he seems to fancy him firsthand, I've got no issues about that. I've absolutely got no issues. Frank Lampard had the same sort of situation with Mount, where he fancied Mount a lot. He fancied, Tammy and Tomori on his first season. Looks like Thomas Tuchel fancies Broja. So watch this space. Let's see what happens. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Ishan. Ruben Loftus-Cheek apparently has been impressing Thomas Tuchel a lot. Here's another player that Thomas Tuchel has been flirting around with last season, saying he's heard of this player in Germany. Germany seems to love Ruben Loftus-Cheek a lot. They've even thought at one stage perhaps Ruben Loftus-Cheek would move to Germany, but it never materialized. I'm very, very happy that Ruben is impressing Thomas Tuchel. Obviously, we're going to watch the preseason match later tonight, see exactly what his development is and what sort of role he plays. But I like this, to be honest, Ishan. I like the fact that he's doing well and perhaps he will get an opportunity in midfield or maybe up front as an inside forward if we continue with the three at the back. Even if we change it to three in midfield, that gives him the opportunity to play in midfield. It gives a lot of tactical flexibility. I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek allows Thomas Tuchel a different avenue, a different direction to take. I feel like, Ishan, even if we do get a new midfielder, which I think we still do as a defensive midfielder, someone who can sit deep and still spray the pass, we still need that sort of profile of a midfielder. But even then, I still think Ruben Loftus-Cheek still needs to be part of the squad. I think Ross Barkley can go and leave on a loan or permanently, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I still think, has a position in this particular squad next season in many different scenarios. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky situation to talk about regarding Ruben Loftus-Cheek at this point of time, because we know the flair that Ruben Loftus-Cheek had during the Maurizio Sarri times, right? And he was a pleasure to watch at that point of time. Then the injury came in, and he, after the injury, he had a loan to Fulham, and I'm not sure if I have been 100% impressed with the Ruben Loftus-Cheek performance at Fulham. I haven't been that much impressive, and regarding that performance, and if you evaluate that performance for the whole year, I'm not sure. After looking at that report card, I would like to say that Ruben Loftus-Cheek should be starting for Chelsea.
Just on that, Ishan, he recently said some quotes that when he came back from his injury last season, he obviously wasn't at his best. He wasn't feeling the best. He wasn't feeling happy, and he wanted to go away on a loan just to get some regular minutes. Obviously, those regular minutes at Fulham did not really materialize. So now when I think about it, and after seeing some of his quotes, I have to say we need to give him some discount that he did have a big injury that he came back from. So, I mean, do you allow for that discount a little bit because of that injury? Maybe that's why he had a bit of a lackluster loan.
Maybe not the injury factor, but then I'm a believer of one thing, and I really believe that, all in all out, is that a good manager can make a player from 0 to 100. That's what I believe. And just look at the way Thomas Tuchel has shaped so many players in our squad. Just look at the way Jorginho is playing under Thomas Tuchel. At one point of time on the Lampard, we wanted it gone. We didn't wanted to see even 1 second of Jorginho because his performance was not that. Maybe the style of playing football that we were playing at that point of time did not envy Jorginho. But look at the way Jorginho has been playing under Thomas Tuchel. He's probably one of the best midfielders now, the way he's playing and how his record has been. So that's what I'm saying. I believe in a manager and a manager's ability to make a player very good, right from 0 to 100. And that's what I believe in Thomas Tuchel, to make Ruben Loftus-Cheek one of the best defenders that he can be. That's what I believe. And if that's the case, it's 100% up to Thomas Tuchel. If Thomas Tuchel feels that Ruben Loftus-Cheek can be one of the very best under him, then 100% Ruben Loftus-Cheek needs to say, we know how lethal Ruben Loftus-Cheek can be when he's at his best. We've seen him already during the Maurizio Sarri times, and that was just the spark. Right, that was just the initiation of that whole saga that he could have left, but unfortunately the injury occurred, and it was all a downfall after that. But then yes, I definitely believe that if Thomas Tuchel knows this guy and then wants this guy to perform under him, he will. Now the tricky part here is regarding the formation. We in the past season have been playing with the back three. That means 3-4-3 or a 3-4-2-1, whatever you want to call. Here's the thing: where would Ruben Loftus-Cheek play for you? In this formation, this particular formation that we have won the Champions League, probably I would guess that if this is the formation that we are going forward for the next season, where would Ruben Loftus-Cheek play? He's not.
He would have to be one of the 10s. He would have to be one of the inside forwards.
He has to be one of the 10s, and he can fit perfectly in a number 8 position, right? If we play a 4-3-3, that's where you've got 2 8's position, and that's where his perfect position is, and that's exactly where he's played for Fulham FC for the last season in loan. Here in Chelsea FC, it's different. we've got two number 10s where I can foresee him playing in those number 2 10s. He's not a defensive midfielder, mind you, by any means, right? Doesn't matter if he's got a big build, he's not a defensive midfielder. Let's first of all understand that. Second thing, he has to play in one of the number 10s. Now, one of the number 10s, if you're playing, just count the number of players who'll be benching if Ruben Loftus-Cheek plays in that place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's colossal if you play in that formation.
Literally,
so
we have Ziyech, Mount, Kalamatanadoy, Pulisic, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz. 6
Look
players.
At that. I mean, it's
then
mad.
Ruben, and then Ruben, 7.
And then Ruben. I mean, it's absolutely crazy if we do that. So
and
here's the
two
thing.
Spots. Just 2 spots.
Just 2 spots. And there comes a point that you made. It's the flexibility. And I'm not sure how much flexible would Thomas Tuchel be, in the middle of the season, changing formations. I don't believe that he's going to do that. He's not done that in the past season. Neither he's going to do this season. I don't believe that. I think so. He's going to stick with one formation, and he has to perfect that. I believe that. But then the thing that you've said is flexibility. I think so. He definitely, would fit in the 4-3-3 formation perfectly. Now it's up to Thomas Tuchel. Would he like to, change his formation, or maybe, have some games here and there, play those back 4 and play Ruben Loftus-Cheek in one of the 8s, which his best formation is. Just that's the tricky part here regarding Ruben Loftus-Cheek. If Thomas Tuchel wants him at his best and he believes that he can make him at his best, that's 100% no issues. But just the problem here with Ruben Loftus-Cheek is just the formation that we are playing, and the number of options that we have if we play Ruben Loftus-Cheek. So I mean, again, even Ruben knows the fact that he's not going to be one of the preferences in the playing 11, in the starting 11 for the majority. He should know that, and I think so he does, right? That's the thing. And he could have hope, basically in a back 3 that we're playing now. I don't think so he would even hope to play in one of those number 10s, because there are so many options, right? How can you imagine resting the likes of Ziyech, Pulisic, and Hudson-Odoi and Timo Werner, and playing a Ruben Loftus-Cheek there? I mean, you're taking out so many qualities and bringing one quality there. It doesn't make sense. So even he knows the fact. The thing is, he does not have many options to have a hope that he would be making to the playing 11, right? If we'd have been playing with a back 4, then there was a chance that he would hope that, yes, listen, the players that were already featuring in the playing 11, I might have an option that I would be a rotating guy. But here, it's a question. It's a question. Even he cannot be confident saying that I'm going to be a rotating guy, because basically there are no options for playing Ruben Loftus-Cheek in any of the positions if we go for a back 3. If we change for a back 4, that the flexibility factor that you're talking about, if we change to a back 4 and have a 3 midfielders in between, definitely I see Ruben Loftus-Cheek featuring for us in most of the games. But it'll be very interesting, don't get me wrong, and don't be surprised one bit if Thomas Tuchel actually plays him in one of the 10 positions and he becomes very good at it. Surprises can come.
Surprises can happen. Look, I've been just monitoring the live chat. They've been absolutely buzzing. Live chat, we've got over 150 people live. Let's get those likes up to 100 straight away. Helps the channel out a lot, helps the video a lot. I'm going to talk about something very interesting about Ruben Loftus-Cheek, which I've been noticing from the live chat, which is going to make this discussion even tenfold better. So smash the like button, and if you're here for the first time, subscribe. We are on the way to 7,000 now, and check out Ishan's socials in the description. Now, I've seen the live chat Ishan talk about quite a few things. Can Ruben play a false 9? Can he play as a striker? Can he play as a double pivot? We've got Aiden here saying apparently he's been training to play in the double 6 role. He's also been watching footage of the way the double 6 was used last season. Very interesting, very, very interesting things to talk about here. Okay, let's talk about the false 9. Conte, I saw someone in the live chat say Conte believed that he could play as a striker. Look, he possibly could play as a false 9, but I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek's best trait as a footballer is to play from deep and drive. He's more like a Kovacic kind of player, but a lot more physique. He can literally bump players off. with his dribbling. I think he's got similaristic style of dribbling as well, like Kovacic. Obviously, he's got the shooting ability and he's got the aerial, the prowess and whatnot. So for me, the way I think about it from Sarri days is what I saw the best of Ruben Loftus-Cheek, which was literally driving from deep through the channel of the midfield in that number 8 position, up and down, more like a box-to-box midfielder. Someone said a Pogba. I don't really think Ruben Loftus-Cheek is the Pogba. Pogba has probably a lot more that passing ability. He's got that ranges of different passes. I don't necessarily think Ruben Loftus-Cheek has ranges of different passes. He's a different he's got. I'm not saying he can't pass at all. He definitely can. But I feel like his best trait is ball control, drive with it, bump players off, and then he's got the shooting ability. And as I said, he can enter the box and he's got the aerial ability. So from that perspective, I don't know whether a false 9 is the right spot for him. Can he do a job? Perhaps. But would it compromise him? It probably would, because he'll have to play with his back on the defenders. He'll have to drop in midfield at times. But then you really need our wingers to cut in and ensure that the position that's been left behind in the false line is getting covered by the 10s or by the wingers. I don't necessarily think that's his best position. He could probably do a job, but I don't think it's the best position. As an inside forward in a 3-4-3 situation that we've been playing, or 3-4-2-1, he could perhaps do a job. He played that a little bit under Frank Lampard as a winger, cutting in. Once again, he doesn't like always getting the ball too far forward. He likes to play more in the midfield so he can look up and then drive and then pass. The 6-6 is interesting. It is an interesting shout. I like the 6-6 comment that Aiden made. And perhaps someone like Jorginho staying deep as a regista, which he has been doing under Thomas Tuchel, and Ruben playing as a box-to-box, perhaps could work. Something what Kante sort of does on that right side of Jorginho, literally being box-to-box. The thing is, Ruben, I don't know if he's going to give us that same sort of thing that Kante gives in terms of defensively, off the ball, chasing, destroying play, winning the balls up front, intercepting, and with the ball as well. Kante is very, very dynamic. So I'm not really sure whether we're going to get that. But as a variation, perhaps, Ishan, I want to ask you, what do you think about that 6-6 maybe? Jorginho at the base and perhaps Ruben as a box-to-box?
Yeah, that's quite interesting. And that actually might work if Ruben Loftus-Cheek is, very much determined to play in that position. And that's the only position that I feel in this current formation might be a chance for Ruben Loftus-Cheek to have a go on. But the task is not easy.
It's not easy.
The double pivot is one of the most important factors in a Thomas Tuchel system.
100%. Yeah. And literally that's the engine. That is the engine.
It's the heart of Thomas Tuchel's system, and he knows that. That's why he envies the 6-6 position so much, and he, he's on top of the world when he says that he's got the likes of N'Golo Kante to be in that 6-6 position, who's one of the best players.
He's literally two players. Kante is literally 2 players.
100%, and that just like you said, Jorginho is basically going to be a register. And if we want someone the likes of Declan Rice or a Tchouaméni to come in, maybe he'll have to fill in the shoes of Jorginho, who's basically playing the registry role. And the next one is the position where you'd like to have the likes of Kovacic or a Kante. If you're saying that Ruben Loftus-Cheek has to be there, then Loftus-Cheek has to definitely at least fill in 50 to 60% of what N'Golo Kante does, and that's not easy.
That's not easy.
He is not N'Golo Kante. Nobody is N'Golo Kante. Even Kovacic has that spark in him. But defensively, the work rate that Kante has, it is impeccable. Nobody in Premier League can do what Kante does. I mean, hell, nobody in the world can do at the moment.
Recoveries, interceptions, literally running wild, just up and down, running everywhere.
Yeah, I mean he's a definite engine, and then the thing that we are saying that this two position and these two players in a Tuchel system is so important, and I think so. It'll take a lot of time for Loftus-Cheek to understand. It's not just about looking videos, work in the training ground. It needs actual match practice and actual gaming time for him to understand the dynamism there in that double pivot position. Definitely, he would, not just come in the playing 11 and start frequently. It's not going to happen. It's going to be Kante every single time. And if that's the case, where Thomas Tuchel is envying Loftus-Cheek to play in one of the pivots, particularly in Kante's position, then we would see in low prolific games, low intensified games, that you would see Loftus-Cheek in those positions. Even then, for example, you've got Kante played 60 or 70 minutes, and then you've got substituted, bring in Loftus-Cheek, you'll definitely see that drop in the intensity in that position, because Kante is definitely up there, and Loftus-Cheek would definitely need to learn out more. It is going to be a slow and gradual process. I believe if that's the case, he would want to fit in the double pivot position, because it's not easy, and definitely Thomas Tuchel would never make that position, a liability kind of thing in his system.
100%.
So it would be a day-to-day work for him, and it would be a slow, gradual process. Loftus-Cheek would need to stay very patient for that. He have to stay very patient for that. Learn a lot from Kante, Kovacic, and also Jorginho, how to defend. Basically, he has to work on his defensive part more. We know that he can be very, graceful when it comes to the attacking front. But being a double pivot, your first priority is being a defensive midfielder. That's why it's called as a defensive midfielder, right? So basically, he has to work a lot on his defensive mid. But yes, it is a possibility, and Thomas Tuchel can definitely have that option.
Yeah, man, 100% Flyer. See, the way Kante wins the ball high up is a different level. Yeah, man. As Ishan's saying, you would have to have immense energy to play in that double pivot role, especially the person that plays beside Jorginho, because Jorginho is literally going to be the deepest midfielder. And then you need the other double pivot player, as Ryan was saying the other day when we were doing the tactical analysis. The other double pivot player is literally the connector between defense and offense. That's why you see Kante, if you remember against Real Madrid, he had so much space to go up and down. He literally had the ball so many times. He was feeding it to Timo Werner. He was feeding it to Kai Havertz. That's the role. I believe in terms of the ball playing, Ruben can do that. But in terms of the energy and off the ball stuff, that's a lot to ask for from Ruben. That is a lot to ask for. So, live chat, here's a question for you. Let me know what you guys think. One, do you want Ruben Loftus to stay in the team? And two, if yes, do you still want to sign another midfielder? So we've already got Kante, we've already got Kovacic, we've already got Jorginho. Obviously, Billy Gilmore's gone away for loan. Do you want to keep Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and do you want to also sign a midfielder? I want to see what you guys have to say. And this may be a very interesting. I see a very nice comment from Kabina as well. Mason Mount is, to be honest, I know we've penciled him down in this particular current formation as an inside forward, but we've done a tactical video, and I hope you guys go and see that. I've literally just pinned it. Mount, so many times he drops in from that inside forward and drops into midfield and makes it a midfield three. So the formation changes. The formation changes into a three very often. So that could be a potentially another avenue where Ruben Loftus-Cheek could play as an inside forward, but then he would have to drop into midfield to make it a midfield three. But there is a lot. There is a lot for Ruben Loftus-Cheek to learn. Just quickly looking at some of the comments before we talk about Dujon Sterling. I just want to bring this up. Thomas Ide. To be fair to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, all the academy midfielders have been played in the 6, 8, and 10 position coming through. Yeah, man, absolutely agree. Danko is saying, I would let Ruben go and sign either Shermani or Kamara. Yeah, look, some are saying send Ruben away on a loan. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. Ralph Lauren generally is a massive advocate for academy, but he's going for Camavinga in this situation as well. So yeah, it's interesting to see what the live chat is saying. Let's talk about Dujon Sterling, Ishan, right now. Guys, let's get those likes up to 100 straight away. We're very, very close. 26 likes away. We've got over 172 people on the channel right now. So let's get those likes up to over 100 straight away. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe. We are on the way to 6,000 subscribers. Ishan, So we've talked about Broja, we've talked about Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Dujon Sterling is another player that Thomas Tuchel seems to fancy, and all of these talks about Adama Traore, obviously Hakimi, all the hype. All the hype we had on Hakimi is dead. He's obviously in PSG. Adama Traore hype is now dying down as well, seems like. Dujon Sterling could possibly be that right-sided player that Thomas Tuchel fancies, and I can't wait to see him play tonight against Bournemouth. I mean, we've got Azpilicueta, we've got Reece James, who are still obviously going to be that right-sided player, but I've not really watched too much of Dujon Sterling. I saw some of his stats yesterday. He had an injury season last season, really didn't get to play much. I think he was out on loan to a League One team, so he didn't even get to feature much. But Ishan, he's only 21. He's young still. He's very young, which I like because you can still develop. I mean, would you fancy this particular player to be the backup right-sided player? I mean, we do need a lot of purchase from that right side. If Reece James and Azpilicueta are not giving what we intend from that right side, could Dujon Sterling be that particular player that shows that enterprise every now and then? And maybe not start from the get-go, but maybe become a backup player. And then if he impresses, who knows where the situation may lead him. I mean, what do you know about Dujon Sterling, Ishan?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to my mind is definitely Chelsea wanted an extra, player who could play at least the right wing back position or the right back position, right? So, having known the fact that Thomas Tuchel is envying Dujon Sterling, that means that we actually needed one guy who can at least we rely as a backup player, right? If not the starting 11 player, knowing the fact that there's Reece James and Aspie, playing in that position, we definitely need one backup guy. Like I said earlier in your show as well, that Azpilicueta is might not get 100 amount of gaming time in the next season. There has to be some declination because definitely of his age. Let's make no mistakes, his work rate is still amazing. Just look at the way he's played in the Euros as well. But the thing is, there has to be a phase when it comes to a declination, and the age factor will definitely take a toll on him. So the thing here is he would definitely Thomas Tuchel would definitely envy at least a backup player. Now the thing here is Hakimi is out of hands, right? Hakimi is gone. If Hakimi was, we would have signed Hakimi, that would have been a different conversation altogether. Knowing the fact that Hakimi is gone, now we have no options but have the likes of Reece James play in the wing back, and definitely we'd have another backup guy who'd support him. So I think so. Chelsea is going for a long-term plan here. If we're seeing that Dujon Sterling stays for Chelsea and then actually gets some amount. Here's the thing: why is it that Dujon Sterling is humble enough to stay in Chelsea and be the rotational guy for a couple of years at least, and why isn't it Tino Livramento? I mean, doesn't make sense. If you're an academy player, you just cannot barge into the playing 11. You have to wait for at least, right? Even being there with the whole team for 1 year doesn't get you the playing 11. He's out for a loan now, and probably he'll come in the next season. And maybe not, right? Maybe not. Even then, we might have the likes of Declan Rice or maybe a Xiaomeni in our squad, and then that may create a hassle again, and we won't have any place for Gilmore again. That's another thing. But the thing here is, I would definitely envy Tino Livramento ahead of Dujon Sterling any day of the week, right? Tino Livramento is a better player than Dujon Sterling, and I've watched some academy games, and I've watched both of these guys play, and I definitely know the fact that Livramento is way better player than this guy. But the thing here is, why is it that Livramento wants to leave and Sterling wants to stay and learn? So I think so. The person who would come to the coach and say that, listen, sir, I am here. I'm a new guy. I'm an academy guy. I need to learn. I need to learn here, learn from the players, learn from the lads, learn from you as well. Get me some gaming time. I'll be satisfied in the next season. Just I need to learn from you guys, and maybe in the future I might feature for you. And I promise you that whatever game time I get in the next season, I'll show my 100%. And that's what you need to have, the mentality as an academy player, right? And if you're like, oh, come on, I've been the academy player of the season, play me in the playing 11. Oh, screw Reece James, I'm the guy here. you have to leave. I'm afraid, and that's exactly what happened with Livermore, right?
I think I'll tell you what, in my perspective, what I think is happening here. Ralph Lauren here saying Tuchel probably promised Dujon Sterling a spot. I don't know if he promised him. Thomas Tuchel, in the last 24 hours, there's been some quotes that's come out. He said that he's never been part of a particular squad in the preseason that has so many loan players and obviously so many academy players taking part. He's just never seen that many players at once. But he also said that it's interesting. It's a good experience. He also said that it was very evident that certain players are willing to stay, you can see, and then certain players from the beginning look like they want to leave the club. So he had the indication from the get-go that there are certain players that really wants to stay, and then there are certain players that wants to leave the club. Now, I'm not saying Livermore was one of them, but here's my ideology around the whole Livermore situation. I think Livermore was put off by the Hakimi news. I think he was really put off by the Hakimi news, and there must have been some truth that Chelsea were after Hakimi. Definitely, there must have been some truth. Livermore then made an assessment that I'm good enough and I'm getting some offers in the Premier League already. I'm good enough to start. I'm not going to be behind Azpilicueta and Reece James. And I'm definitely not going to wait around to see Chelsea sign either Hakimi or Adama Traore. I'm good enough. I want to start now. I'm going to go. Chelsea actually had a contract extension ready for Livermore because all of their contracts are coming to an end. They actually had a contract ready because Livermore was Chelsea Academy Player of the Year. So they truly believe in this player. So they wouldn't spend all that time on this particular player if they didn't believe in him. So they believe in him. He was the Academy Player of the Year. They were ready to give him the contract extension. But he didn't want to take it. He didn't want to take it because he believed he can start somewhere else. He did not want to be a backup. That's the thing about Livermore. Livermore does not want to be a backup. He wants to start games now. And for Chelsea, that's going to be very difficult. Very, very difficult. Whereas Dujon Sterling, he sees himself that this is a good opportunity. I did not get to play any game last season. I was in League One. I was injured. If I can get an opportunity to stay in the squad and maybe get some backup games, that would be good for me. That would be a good scenario for me. And maybe if he gets those chances and takes full advantage of it, who knows where Dujon Sterling's career could take off. You never know if he can stay fit. So that's the difference. Livermore, I think, wanted to start now, and he's not going to get that.
Yeah.
Whereas Dujon Sterling, he's not demanding to start now. He just wants to be part of the squad. And Thomas Tuchel he wants squad depth. Do you know what I mean? And he doesn't mind a player like Dujon Sterling to stick around. So that's my ideology. Just want to quickly read Ralph Lauren saying Livermore ain't with the preseason group. He's with the development squad. Tuchel barks at Reece James at right wing back every game. He prefers him at right CB. Aspie not a right wing back. Livermore wouldn't be a backup. I mean, then tell me, Ralph, why isn't Thomas Tuchel taking Livermore? Just tell me.
Yeah.
I mean, you seem to be opposing my point, which is fine. I have no issues. But why don't you tell me then why isn't Thomas Tuchel looking at someone like Livermore? What could be the reason? I don't think Thomas Tuchel is stupid that he wouldn't want someone as good as Livermore not to be part of the squad. It has to be because Livermore wants to start. And Thomas Tuchel probably can't see him starting at the moment. Do you know what I mean? If Aspie's playing as a right CB next season, probably Reece James is going to be the right wing back. And I get your point. He does bark at Reece James to go up and down because Reece hasn't been enterprising enough as a right wing back. That's why we're in the market. But I don't think he would start a Livermore in front of Reece James. He just wouldn't do that. Reece James
even Thomas Tuchel understands, right, when a player needs to start and needs continuous gaming time. Just look at the way Gilmour has gone out for a loan, and in my opinion, it's the best loan he can get to a Norwich City, and Norwich will be playing in the Premier League, so it's perfect for Gilmour. Definitely, Thomas Tuchel wouldn't have kept Gilmour, knowing the fact that listen, this guy is really improving, and we should not stop the wheels of his improvement. He needs to go out and play, and that's why he went out for loan. And similarly, even but before him going to a loan, he stayed in Chelsea Football Club, right, for the whole season. He had learned from the whole squad. He had learned from Frank Lampard as when Lampard was the manager. He had learned a lot since Tuchel came. So there is a learning process. You just cannot be out of the academy and say I want to start in the playing 11 every game of the week. That's not going to happen. There has to be a learning phase. Playing in an academy and playing in your first team football, it's land and sky. The difference is immense.
It's immense. You need to be patient. This is what I said. You need to be patient. You have to be patient to get that opportunity. I personally don't think Livramento was patient enough. I just saw Ralph saying that he's not against my point. He's more saying that he was put off by the Hakimi news. He probably was. But now the Hakimi news is not there anymore. So he could still go up to Chelsea hierarchy and say, look, I still want to stick around, and I'm happy to get whatever minutes I can get. And then let's see what happens from there on. But I think Tino Livramento is getting offers from elsewhere, from other teams like Brighton, and they're probably saying you're probably going to start because Lamptey is still injured over there. So, look, kudos to Livramento.
The Hakimi factor could be, actually true. That
that's true.
Even
that is apparently
young,
true. That is apparently true.
Even Hakimi is young, right? So looking at that, Hakimi is young, and then he plays at the right wing back. Or
Ishan,
right back.
Hakimi news is now dead. So
yeah, exactly. And maybe before us, Chelsea Football Club and Livramento should have known that it's not happening. So he has a chance, right?
Yeah. So it's not like he needs to move now. But look, it is what it is. I think he is going to go Tino Livramento. But Dujon Sterling, kudos to him. I can't wait to see him tonight against Bournemouth. See what he has to do as a backup. I think he'll be fantastic. All right, Ishan, let's talk about a couple of things before we wrap things up. Guys, we've got over 170 people live. Please smash the like button. We're literally 10 likes away from 100 likes. Let's get those likes up to 100. That would be a great milestone for the show live stream. I'd love to get 150 likes. That would be awesome if you guys can do that. Helps the channel out a lot. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. We are on the way to 7,000 now. Ishan, a couple of news. First of all, Marcus Bettinelli. We have lifted off. Chelsea has lifted off in this particular window. We are backing Thomas Tuchel. Roman Abramovich is doing everything possible. So he got Thomas Tuchel a backup goalkeeper. Yes, we have started the transfer season perfectly. Look, all banter aside, Marcus Bettinelli, honestly, I don't know much about him. Apparently, he was a backup keeper at Fulham. Obviously, Areola was the keeper over there. Mendy, obviously, the number one keeper. Kepa still probably number two. With Marcus Bettinelli coming in, Ishan, what do you think, man? Is Kepa sticking around? I don't understand why he would want to stick around as a number two. That's pretty insane. He surely would want to start games and go out on a loan somewhere and just play a full season and do well, and maybe then put your hand up. I don't want to see another season, Ishan, where we have a league keeper and then a cup keeper. One keeper. And then obviously Mendy goes on African Cup of Nations. Then someone comes in and fills in for that particular month. But besides that, I want to see one goalkeeper, clarity in this position, no uncertainty. And let's face it, a goalkeeper doesn't need any rest. They're not running around. You don't need the goalkeeper to be resting. Yes, you can get the rest in the initial stages of the Carabao Cup. You can get the rest in the initial stages of the FA Cup. But besides that, you really don't need the rest. And if you do need the rest, you don't need Kepa to be your backup. That's ridiculous. Kepa probably deserves to start somewhere else. But what's your thoughts about Marcus Bettinelli, and is Kepa going to stick around?
Marcus Bettinelli came in because of a simple thing, that Caballero left, right? Let's get things straight first. Caballero left, Marcus Bettinelli is in. The thorn in the house is Kepa, or like always, man. The thing here with Kepa is, I think so, Chelsea are in a huge dilemma, miss, and let me tell you, even the last season, there were games when Kepa was starting over Mendy, and we were thinking about why in the blue hell is this guy starting over Edward Mendy. We've seen that in the Premier League game against Man City, if I'm not wrong, the last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, fortunately we won, but then it was Kepa there, and everybody was biting their nails off. I mean, why Kepa, right? We understand the fact that it was an FA Cup game. Kepa is starting,
Yeah.
and he's an FA Cup
And
keeper.
he played
Makes
all the
sense.
FA Cup games. He played all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
FA
it
Cup games.
makes sense. But then in a Premier League, and then Thomas Tuchel is saying, he, I'm giving him some momentum. Oh, you're not. You're getting pressurized by the board there because he's the most expensive keeper in the world. That's why you need to play him. And I think so, Miss. There's definitely some pressurizing factor here from the board, because there has to be an uprise of value in Kepa, because he has seen massive declination. Since Frank
Yeah.
Lampard is our manager, he has seen
Yeah.
massive declination. And a keeper, 70 million for a keeper is way, way, way too much. I mean, there are legends of keepers who have been transferred, and 70 million. I mean, with the likes of Kepa, I'm sorry, but it's a disgrace to our club that we've spent 70 million on a keeper, and the outcome is this, that you had to have another keeper by the span of 2 years or so, maybe not even 2 years or 3 years. So I think so it's a huge mistake by Chelsea Football Club, in my opinion. And also another thing is, it's his contract. It's a 7-year contract, for Christ's sake. 7-year contract for Kepa.
It's
And I mean, that's
huge.
not ending. Yeah,
Long
it's
time.
it's
Yeah.
massive. It's huge. And another thing is that, regarding the loan, would Chelsea send Kepa out, having known the fact that he's one of the most expensive keepers? I think so Chelsea would envy him selling rather than loaning. I'm not sure if Chelsea would allow him to loan.
Bro,
I
there's
mean,
literally, I mean, who's going to buy him? I mean,
yeah,
we would need to make some sort of break even on this particular goalkeeper. Do you know what I mean? I mean,
yeah,
look, I still think he's all right goalkeeper. He does have some lackings, no doubt
yeah,
about that. Height is a huge lacking. Long range shots, he gets beaten. But I can't see how we just have him
yeah.
as a backup goalkeeper, man. He needs to go out on a loan. I saw Roby comment here saying, who's going to pay the wages? It's true. Maybe Chelsea has to
Exactly.
pay
Yeah.
75% of the wages and the other team pays 25%. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah.
Also, Miss, we have to look at the likes of Carriers, the way he played, and the downfall. Liverpool
Oh,
sensed that, and exact next season, Carriers was out, Alisson was
yeah.
in, and that was a master stroke from Liverpool. And maybe it's because of Alisson and his masterclass that Liverpool are won the Champions League and also the Premier League that season. So Chelsea should have sensed it, but the thing with Kepa is a little bit different because of his long-term contract, and also the high wages and the transfer fee. But the thing here, Miz, is I think so. Having known the fact that Kepa has such a long contract, and we know the fact that there's African Nations Cup coming, so Edward Mendy, has to go there and you represent his nation, Senegal. The thing here is, maybe Chelsea is thinking, it's my hypothetical situation, that maybe Chelsea is thinking that this season Edouard Mendy might not be available for some period of time. Maybe Kepa can switch in and have some good gaming time, and that's
Maybe.
the exact opportunity, a very good, well versed opportunity for Kepa to have his value increased. And the downfall that he had, maybe he has uplifted that a little bit from the past season's ending that he had under Thomas Tuchel. He's been quite decent because our defense has been so good that he's not conceded, and he's got some clean sheets in his name. Fair enough, fair play to him. But then now it's actually a decent opportunity for Chelsea Football Club and Kepa as well to increase his value a little bit. Now, having known the fact that Edouard Mendy won't be available for the Nations Cup, once this phase passes, once his value is uplifted to a little bit, maybe in the next summer's transfer window, or maybe in the winter, or maybe a summer transfer window next, Kepa should go out. I'm not in a loan, makes no mistakes about it, but on an actual permanent deal. Loan wouldn't bring anything for Kepa, I think so. He has to go out on a permanent deal, because we know that Edouard Mendy is here to stay for long term, and we've got Bettinelli as well. So the Kepa has to leave. But this is, yes, I see next season there can be a strategy by Chelsea Football Club that let's keep all these three keepers that we've had, since Edward Mendy has to go, let Kepa come in, and Kepa would be a better option, I believe, comparatively to Bettinelli, definitely, and for that phase he can actually play well and uplift his value. There can be the opportunity for us to actually sell him for the next transfer window.
Yeah, look, that's a good point. When you think about it that way, maybe that is a good point to still keeping him around for. That's a crucial month, the month of January. Things, title chases and whatnot really gets determined during that time frame. There's a really good comment from C1LDN saying Bettinelli fits the homegrown quota, so it's. From that perspective is very good as well, because you do need to have homegrown, and Bettinelli fits that. So a bit of a shrewd business. Apparently we got him for free. Obviously, there's going to be salaries and whatnot that's going to come into it, but it was a free transfer. It was a free agent, so that was a good bit of business as a third choice keeper, which is fine. Okay, this particular comment, Kai Havertz, guys, give Kepa some respect. I don't think we've disrespected, whether you're talking about live chat, I don't know. We definitely haven't disrespected Kepa. I've always had utter respect for him, but I'm not going to shy away from talking about the lackings in his game. We always respectfully criticize, and we can't hide from the fact that he has some lackings. Yes, he's recently had an article out where he talks about everything that since he's joined Chelsea and whatnot, which has been an interesting read. And yeah, as I said, we've never ever disrespected Kepa in this channel. As I said, he has lackings which needs to be pointed out. And when you think about it from that sense, there's no doubt that Mendy is the number one goalkeeper for Chelsea. All right, let's talk about finally the game that's coming up tonight before we wrap things up. We've still got over 180 people live, guys. Let's get the likes up to over 150 straight away. If you've been enjoying it, we're going to now just talk about the game, and then we've got some few announcements. Ishan, we're playing Bournemouth. It's a friendly preseason. We get to see more players, exactly how they develop, what's happening, what formation, whether Thomas Tuchel tinkers with the formation, what lineups are going to happen. Bournemouth is a particular team we've not been that well. We haven't been playing that well against them. They've beaten us quite a few times in recent times, but obviously this is a friendly. Ishan, what are you expecting in this particular preseason games? What would you like to see? Different formations? A particular player that you're interested to see what they're up to? What's your expectations for this particular match tonight?
Well, Miss, I think so. From the whole preseason, I'm expecting Thomas Tuchel to work on the formation, because that's something which we are, really looking forward to the next season. That which formation does he actually play? Regarding players, yes, definitely he's, Tuchel already has his eyes on many of those players, right? That's exactly what we are talking in this whole show. The likes of Loftus-Cheek, Sterling, Broja, and all these lots. Also there will be new players coming in. From outside, the new signings that we make. I would like to see Thomas Tuchel experiment with his formation. Let's see if he plays for a back four. I would like to see him play for a back four and actually see how the team performs there. But the last preseason, if I'm not wrong, we still played for a back three, right? We played in a 3-4-2-1 that we actually play. So, if we again play for a back three, I think so. It's a cemented fact that we're playing for a back three next season.
I think with Peterborough, we played with a back three in the first half and then a back four in the second. I'm pretty sure we played with a back four in the second half. Or maybe we played with a back three. I'm not really sure. Yeah, maybe we did play with a back three.
Yeah, maybe we just heard back three. Yeah, whichever article I've read, I've just saw back three. But if that's the case, if this game, we all will be watching this, right? It's free on the Fifth Stand app tonight. Yep. So if Chelsea plays on the back three and Thomas Tuchel chooses a back three, I think so. It's quite clear that we'll be playing.
Yeah, we did switch. We did switch. I remember. I think in the second half, Ishan, we did switch. It went to a 4-2-2-2. I think. Yeah, second half. There we go. Yeah. So back four in the second half. It was 4-2-2-2. That's why Ziyech was more in the box. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing some sort of
see that
formation.
You see the links, miss. We switch to a back four. Ziyech comes in and then creates havoc. 6-1 win, a hat trick. You know what I mean. A back four Thomas Tuchel is crazy, man.
That's the thing. It allows for an extra attacker, so then you become a lot more potent. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, go on.
Basically, a back 4-2-2-2 is what Thomas Tuchel prefers. Even we've seen that in when he was in PSG. 4-2-2-2 is what Thomas Tuchel preferred, and he's very good in that. So it'll be very, very interesting to see the formation today. It's not just the formation which comes out on the list, but the in-game formation that he has. It'll be very interesting to see how he switches. On the ball, how's the formation? How does he play on the ball? Off the ball,
off the ball. So true, so true.
Yeah, and that's going to be very, very interesting to see. The players, I'm not actually very much concerned because there are going to be many, many changes. Basically, we'll have the first half with one lot of players and the second half with another lot of players. So players, I'm excited to see how Broja performs because he's played quite well in the last game. With one assist and a goal, so it'll be very interesting to see how he does. It'll be another interesting, tricky thing to see if Tammy plays and if he does score or play well. Again, my eyes are on all these young players. If Ruben Loftus-Cheek plays, how does he do? His movement. Ruben Loftus-Cheek's movement in Thomas Tuchel's formation would be another interesting thing to see. Another guy, Malang Sarr, if he plays, how is his performance? How is the stability in the defense when Malang Sarr plays? So many, many youngsters that I'm looking forward to. But then, yes, I'm the thing that I'm concerned about in tonight's game is definitely the formation.
Nah, for sure, man. As you said, many players that we can see what they're up to, the development and how they're performing under Thomas Tuchel. That'll be interesting to see. Formation, of course. I don't think the guys that have returned back in the likes of Kante, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Mateo Kovacic, Rudiger, they won't be participating in this particular match because they literally just came back. So they won't be there. Roby's saying predictions. Look, I'm hoping Chelsea wins this. I mean, it's a friendly and literally it's going to be so many changes. They're going to have so many changes, but we should have enough quality in the likes of Callum, Pulisic, Ziyech. These players have been around for a little while now in the preseason, and I really want to see them do well against Bournemouth and put them away. I'm hoping we win, maybe a 3-0, 4-0. Who knows? I'm hoping that's what we get out of it. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the more senior players that have just come into the team, they're not going to be participating in this match. They've just come back, so that's the news about that. That pretty much wraps us up. I just want to make some final announcements before we leave today. First of all, we still got over 150 people live. Please, let's get the likes up to 150 straight away if you've enjoyed this. If you're here for the first time, subscribe as well. Don't leave without subscribing if you've enjoyed it. And Yusuf saying, we hear the background noises, Miz. That's not me, that's Ishan. I don't know if he's got some sort of kids playing in the background.
Yeah, that's my God, some construction work going on in the labor campus here. So it's mad. But sorry for that, Yusuf. Sorry.
That's all right. That doesn't bother me one bit, man. And so, yeah, do subscribe. Check out Ishan's socials in the description. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be going live for the match review straight after the match is finished. Probably about 10 minutes, 15 minutes after the match is finished. So do look out for that. If you are watching the match, even if you're not, do check in and check out the review. I'll have Jonathan here and Taryn. So the boys will be back for the review, which will be very, very interesting. So do look out for that. Until next time, everyone, take care. And lastly, just check out the pin message that I've got in the live chat. I've got some tactical videos that's been out that we've been working with Ryan with. Please go and check those out. Smash the like button there as well. and actually watch the videos. You're going to really like it. This is a new series that's out now on my channel where I'm doing some tactical shows with Ryan, and we're going to do a lot more as the season progresses. So do check that out. Until next time, everyone, see ya.